that song, you know that sound, you know what that means. That means it's the weekend, and well, it really isn't at this point because this episode's coming out so late, but it's still making it out before the weekend's done. I'm doing this on a Sunday night. But anyway, it's the James Freel Show. I'm your host, James Freel. And as always, I'm very happy to have you with me. Different microphone and sound quality is probably very different. Not only did I not bring a microphone, you know, the one I've been using the past few weeks is actually a decent one, but I like it on the low setting because it makes it sound like I'm talking through a cell phone. This one, I don't quite know what it's gonna sound like. It's actually the microphone that is inside the laptop, so you know what, it probably sounds like you're talking to me over Skype or something. But the hope is that you know, the only important thing is that I record down my thoughts for 30 minutes and then put it on the internet for some reason. I think for what it's worth, the show should be alright this week. Before I hop into anything about what happened this week, we as always have to go into news for the uninformed. So let's see here. I haven't really been paying attention to the news that much this week. Top news today. Let's see what we got here. White House Chief of Staff in Israel election future of the West Bank now on the ballot. Kirsten Nelson leaving position as Homeland Security. American Kimberly driver freed from captive. Mulvaney says Democrats will never obtain Trump's taxes. Buttigieg, I would stack my experience up against anyone. Lori Loren, Felicity Huffman among 50 charged. That's from months ago. 4 weeks ago, yeah, what the heck? Who cares about that? You know what, let's just see what's on the front page when I go to, hold on, I'm trying to not make, I'm sure you hear the banging pretty loud of the keys, I'm trying to avoid that as much as possible. Hold on. No, I don't want to, okay. Yeah, I guess Kirsten Nelson out as Trump's Homeland Security Secretary. Her tumultuous tenure in charge of the Border Security Agency had at times made her a target for President Trump's criticisms. Mr. Trump had blamed Ms. Nelson for the rise in migrants who illegally entered the United States, even though she supported his hardline policies. So that's that. In sports, even though this is supposed to go out on Friday, the fact is it's Sunday, and the Final Four was last night. It was Virginia over Auburn in a controversial ending that left Auburn fans upset with referee calling. It's quite exciting. I did see it happen as it happened. And how many people get a chance like that to, you're down by 2 and you get 3 up to free throw a 3. And so it's like you can tie it or you can go for the win. I feel like that guy that was clutch. And I was cheering for Auburn. And yet that was pretty cool. I gotta say, that was pretty cool. Hats off to him. Anything? Oh, and then Texas Tech beat Michigan. No, not Michigan. I'm sorry. Yeah, Michigan State. I was thinking Michigan. You know what I meant. So yeah, let's see what we got going on in the pop arena, pop culture. Let's see here. Hold on, folks. This is a part of it. Pop culture news. Let's see here. What we got? NBC News. Prince William's that's not good. Rapper threatens to sue Rihanna father for artist behind Paint by the Numbers. Sriracha battle keeping up. Judge. What is Okay, Britney Spears focusing on mental illness as she copes with, okay, Tom Petty's widow and daughter in legal fight for control of singer's estate. That's kind of depressing. You know, that's why you need a will, man. You need to make sure you have a will going so you can avoid all that kind of stuff going on, because that's unfortunate. And I guess it is a part of it. Part of being famous. I heard that was a big deal with like Mickey Rooney's family. After he went, he had like nothing. I'm basing this on nothing except like second, third-hand gossip that I heard. But anyway, so that'll be news for the uninformed for the week. So, like I said, I am not doing this with any specific microphone this week except the one that is attached into my laptop, which is why I sound the way I do. I am in Cleveland, Ohio right now. I just drove up today. Today's been an interesting one. This morning, my lady, and she ran a 5K this morning, and yeah, it was down in Kentucky. I was there, and it was early in the morning, luckily, so I was able to just watch her do it. It was like bridal themed, and she offered it for me to do it with her, but I was like, nah, I don't like running. I like the elliptical. And so I went from that, and then she actually got interviewed on the news afterwards, which was kind of funny to see her on the news. I didn't want her to use her real name when she was on it, just because, you know, people don't need to know that. I don't know. The older I get, the more I see the value of privacy, and I don't think we realized how valuable privacy was until social media or something. I don't know what I'm talking about. So I did that. I got home and packed my stuff, and I'm here for 2 weeks. I am going to go home on the weekend because I'm driving a company vehicle, so what do I care if more miles are put on it. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see if they make me use that for business or personal. Who knows? Who knows? As far as I'm concerned, it's business. Shoot. Anyway, so I'm here in Cleveland by myself, and I must say the sense of loneliness is big. Way back when the James Freel show first started, I had talked about how I was possibly going to Toledo to go to law school, and I'm glad I didn't do that, because the overwhelming sense of being alone is crazy here. It is just like, oh man. I come in, and this hotel I'm staying at it's the nicest hotel I've ever. Well, that's not true. I once stayed in a double level one. That one was probably the nicest, but I was sharing it with 5 other people. This hotel, it's a suite, so you got like a living room, a kitchen, and a bedroom. There's multiple televisions and multiple sinks, and yeah, it's pretty nice. It's got a window you can look out. Yeah, it's like I said, it's the nicest thing I've ever stayed in. What I'm upset about is I couldn't wait that they have I heard they have a fitness center here, which is good, because I wanted to stay on top of things while I'm up here. Lo and behold, I go there, and the pool is closed, and I think no big deal, but I look through, and I see that the fitness center is in the pool area. Like, you have to go through the pool room and then go to the fitness area. So if the pool is closed, I can't go in. I have to, yeah, just makes me really upset, because I don't think there's anything wrong with it. Part of me wants to go in and ask, like, hey, is there any way I can use this or something? I don't know. I've had people tell me in the past that the training, that's basically what I'm here to do, is a bit like a vacation. And I definitely hope there's an element of that to it, but at the same time, I am hoping that I'm just hoping that, how do I say this? Well, it's not difficult to say at all. I hope I just learn stuff while I'm here, and I hope it's also kind of fun. Um, it is getting incredibly lonesome. I did bring my PlayStation. Yeah, I still play video games at the age I'm at. I started playing the epilogue to Red Dead Redemption 2. It's a lot of fun. The game is pretty. When the ending happened, and spoiler alert, I'm serious. I'm like gonna spoil the game majorly in like 2 seconds. So if this is your last warning, skip ahead 30 seconds if you don't want to hear it. But after Arthur died, it's like, okay, game's kind of over. Just move on. But then I just revisited it, and the story that it takes on afterwards has been super interesting, and it's a good time. It's a good time. Moving on. So yes, I'm in this hotel in Cleveland. Yesterday I saw two separate groups of friends this weekend. It was a very eventful weekend. On Friday, I saw a friend, the guy who's going to be my best man, and his wife, and we played that game, Codenames My Lady, and him and his wife. That was a great evening. We had a good conversation about stuff. We got to talk about ethics and all that stuff that makes me feel like I'm smarter than I really am, and like poverty and all that stuff. That was a good thing. It was a good time. And then the next morning, I got up. This window guy came over to appraise a job, and it was way out of the price range. That's something I can talk about. I got my official move-out date, so I can stop being a frickin' loser the rest of my life. I'm pretty old, and I think I've faked it before, where I've talked about, oh, I'm in an apartment right now because I'm at an age where I really shouldn't be talking about these. But anyway, yeah, got the official date. I thought it was going to be much later. Hoping moving out won't be too terribly difficult. We'll see how it goes. So there's that. I gotta tell you, I'm probably gonna regret talking about this, or just regret the fact that I did it. I made a post there in our small town yesterday. There was an extremely loud bang. And because I live in a small town, there's this small little page that talks about, and it's just like an internet thing. And I gotta say, I like the town I live in, but I don't like everyone's internet persona on it. Everyone's really nasty to each other, and it's like, yeah, when you're behind a keyboard, it's really easy to be nasty. But like, the loud bang happened, and those are kind of common, and whenever it does, everyone gets on the internet. It's like, did anyone hear that loud bang? What was that? What was that? Did anyone hear that? Does anyone know what it was? I heard it too. I heard it here, I heard it at the store. But does anyone know where it is? And no one knew what it was, and people are like, yeah, I called the police, and they didn't know anything about it. And so I just make the joke, I make a post, I say, loud bang of 2019, hashtag never forget. I got quite a bit of likes from it. People were amused by it. It was just a sense of humor thing that I was doing. So I'm at the Final Four. I was at a gathering. Oh yeah, I saw that today. I should have talked about that in sports. Yeah, in sports, there's a huge fight today with the Reds and the Pirates. Anyway, that was something, but dang it, I totally lost my train of thought that I was talking about. So I was at that Final Four gathering, watching the game, and I go and check to see how many likes I got, and I can't find it. Like, what happened to that post? I know I made it. I'm not being gaslighted here. And it occurs to me that it got Zuckerberged. It got taken down, and so I just went, and I thought to myself, okay, well, that clearly didn't violate any sort of Facebook standards. As touchy as Facebook, and they're not always touchy, but they can be sometimes, as touchy as they are, I would be shocked if saying loud bang of 2019 hashtag never forget, would flag any type of misbehavior on Facebook. That just doesn't seem anywhere within their realm. So I go back to the only other option would be an admin of that group would have had to have taken it down. So I just make the post, like, hey, could I politely ask why my sarcastic comment about the loud bang of 2019 got Zuckerberged? I'm like, hey, I'm not trying to stir the pot or anything. I just want to know what I did wrong so that in the future I know not to do it again. And an administrator comes back and says the admins did not remove it. It got reported to both Facebook and the admins of this group. Facebook removed it. And I did some research, and it turns out it's very typical that Facebook will contact an offender if they violate their terms of service. So I just responded and said, oh, I'm sorry for assuming. I was under the impression that if you violate the terms of use of Facebook, you get notified and messaged by them. I wasn't, so I assumed the only other people would have been the administrators. Since, as you say, it was reported to several administrators, would you mind telling me what the reason was when it was being reported? I just want to know what I did. The only thing I can think of is using the hashtag never forget might be kind of offensive to like old people who think that sacred hashtag is only worthy of being used about like 9/11 and stuff. It's just like, it was a sarcastic joke, and it looks like most people were kind of on my side with stuff. They were very much like, I don't know, they were just, yeah, I don't know. What's funny is I have this teacher from high school who I very much looked up to, and he said, back in high school, he said he would never get a Facebook. And now that he retired, he's on Facebook all the time. I see him there. And he, like, comments actively. I'm just like, that's kind of funny how all of a sudden, it's just kind of funny how people who pride them, and I was one of them. I told myself I wouldn't get a Facebook. I held out, and I think the real reason why I held out so long was because I didn't want to. It was that I was worried about having to look up new friends and like find people and all that jazz. I thought it would be too difficult, and so I'm like, nah, I'm not doing it. But anyway, so that's that ordeal. I asked that, they have not responded to it, and I am waiting for a response. I think it deserves one. The truth is, I do sound kind of passive aggressive in the message, but I'm doing it just well enough that I did not want to see that. Why would you put that in my newsfeed? I did it just well enough to where if they like lashed out or something, everyone would be on my side. It must be kind of hard. It must be kind of hard. I don't know. That was pretty funny today during this Reds fight. Krug or whatever. That's the guy on my team, the first guy to have his teammates back. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this. It's missing in today's society. And the Krug, he's the only guy. He's like taking on the entire Pirates team. Oh my gosh, Battle of Condiments. That is hilarious. Because they're bright red and versus yellow. Oh man, I hate Pittsburgh. I really do. I've made sure to wear my, I had to make sure to bring a Cincinnati cap while I'm here, just to make sure everyone knows where I'm from and everything. Yeah, today I went out to check out where I'll be going to class tomorrow, because I don't want to be late tomorrow. And so I go back and I need to find a restroom, and I see this store called Discount Drug Store. And I go in and it instantly feels like the 90s. And it's pretty cool. they've got all these signs up. They have this gumball machine that I remember, one of the grocery stores I went to as a kid, I can't remember which one, but it had the exact same one. And, the lighting was just different. It was a photo lab. You could go there to get your photos developed. I'm just like, whoa, this is like a step back in time. And because I am in Cleveland, they have the official drugstore of the Cleveland Browns. I'm like, I'm not giving this store any of my business. This is talking to us. I'm hoping at least one person will ask me about my Reds cap while I'm here. Yeah, I don't know what things are going to be like this week. I'm going to try to get a good night of sleep this week. I'm not staying here over the weekend. As much as I would like to, I'm not going to. So there's that. It's about a 4.5 hour drive here, and I got to make some overtime doing that. Last night, I was at that Final Four gathering, and I met this guy from Switzerland. He had a very thick Swiss accent because English isn't his first language. And I think I had a very productive time just sitting down and talking to him. And what I wanted to figure out from him was, what exactly is Europe's perspective on America? Like, what's the temperature like? And he explained to me that overall, Europe and America, they're on good terms. Europe can sometimes get annoyed with America, big shocker there, because we do say we're number one a lot. And I do believe we probably, I don't know, because I've only lived here, of course I'm going to say it, but based on what I've researched, which is very little, I really like it here. I may go down to the hotel bar tonight and just get one drink, but at the same time, it's just going to hurt my sleep quality, and it's going to be like, what, $6 for one drink? No, I don't need that. I'm really upset that their gym is closed, because I was excited I was going to be doing the elliptical every day while I was here. It's going to be fantastic. I was going to be eating right, and I just get hit with that. That really grinds my gears, if you know what I mean. What time is it right now? It's 8:39, so I still got about 7 minutes left. So it's going to be like 8:50, and I'm only going to have 3 hours to get this thing uploaded, and that's going to be over hotel internet. Not a good story. Can I get it done? I think I will. I was really nervous, because when you're here, I saw that they have the complimentary internet, but then they also have the high-speed internet, which is $10 a day. And I was thinking, man, if they're charging $10 a day for high-speed internet, that's making me think that the internet that they give that's complimentary is going to be pretty horrible. But I haven't had any issues with it thus far. I mean, I've watched a few YouTube videos and all that, so I don't see a big issue. I'm watching some lacrosse right now. What's weird about lacrosse is there's no dribbling. Is their goalie out? 'Cause that'd be bad. I don't know what the strategy is, and I don't know what the rules are about who you can do what to. So we got this dude. They do that flippy thing. Lacrosse is such a... I just instantly think of wealthy people when I think of lacrosse. Yeah, because like in soccer, you're kicking it. In hockey, you gotta like focus to hang on to it. It's just an interesting... looks like there's a lot of scoring though. And it is impressive the way they pass it. I don't know, I guess it's just not really something that ever took off as a crazy sport. It's Ohio State and Penn State. This is on the Big Ten Network. It looks like they all got those helmets on. I wonder if that's for contact, or I don't know what that would be for. But they all just kind of look silly running around the way they do. Me talking crap about collegiate athletes. Oh, get up. I think I'd rather watch this than America. Well, No, I had a talk yesterday with the guy from Switzerland, and I was amazed. He said that I assume because I'm a closed-minded American that all Europeans love soccer and can't stand American football. And based on what he told me, he said no, there's a huge following in Europe for American football. And he said, well, soccer is pretty big there. He personally finds it a little boring. So that just sort of, whoa! Guy just threw his stick there. Just keep it easy there. Y'all can just get in your Beamers and go home and act like none of this ever happened. I don't know, that kind of interested me, and I got to give him my whole spiel on why I like the Patriots, and I explained that I see it as siding with Stalin to defeat Hitler, because the Steelers had 6, and oh, look at that, Penn State just scored. I think. Yeah. I have to say, those helmets look a lot cooler on the Ohio State side. They got the crossbar. It's got to get hard to see sometimes. What is, they kind of look like football players a little bit. Yeah, it's an interesting case about college athletes and not paying them. I will say I still say I pretty much would say I don't support paying college athletes. I don't know, and I don't know why. But part of it is, if you have that much disposable income, or if you're making that much money, I think it should be used to like offset tuition or something. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But I do see the argument, and they're like, fine, if you want to make it all about amateurism and whatnot, then stop paying coaches, make it a professor at the school. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. 27, okay. I didn't record with the music, so even though it's going to play, I've got to add it all in, because I have one file that I keep that I can just drag and drop into it. And hopefully, if I do 29.5 minutes, it'll be okay. Yeah, so I'm in Cleveland all week. I'll probably be here next week. I once tried recording while I was driving, but that just doesn't work. I mean, if you think I make a lot of unnecessary pauses, think about doubling those when it comes to I don't know. Should I drink? No, I shouldn't drink coffee tomorrow morning. Tomorrow's like a first day of school thing, but I'll know one guy. I gotta find out what entrance I need to go into. Whatever the main entrance is for. Because I don't even have a badge, and I'll have to show a picture ID, and I have no issues with that. Did they just score again? Holy crap. Yeah, I'm actually watching this because it's something that can't distract me too badly. I wonder how the lacrosse guys feel, if they feel similar to the Ohio State players. Because that's what it looks like their helmets are trying to imitate. They're trying to imitate, like, Ohio State football players. Now, these guys are really pumped up for lacrosse. I tell you what. It's probably a fun game to play, and I bet if I played, I might get into it. These guys are fast. Give them that. They run pretty fast, and the guy dropped. Does he drop? Yep, he dropped it. The other guy picked it up. It is what it is. Alright. I hope I can get through this week. Thank you so much for listening if you did. And enjoy the rest of your week, and I'll see you next week.